let's shift focus back to India's dairy industry then. Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, which markets India's popular dairy brand Amul, recently hiked prices of milk by nearly 2 rupees per litre across milk variants, which is with effect from the 1st of May. Remember, this is the first price hike in nearly a year, and the last price hike was in June 2024. Amul also says that this price hike represents a 3 to 4% increase in maximum retail price or MRP, which the federation said remains lower than the current average food inflation. This price hike is being done due to an increase in input costs of production of milk. To discuss this in greater detail, we now have Mr. Jayen Mehta, who is the Managing Director at Amul, now joining us. Mr. Mehta, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. And first up, let's talk about the price hike, because Amul recently announced a price hike of 2 rupees per litre, which came into effect on the 1st of May. Help us understand what led to this, how much have input costs risen by, and any more price hikes on the card in the near future?
No. This increase was done after almost a year. And if you recall, in between, we had also reduced price by 1 rupee a litre. So practically, this requirement of increase happened because of the changing conditions in terms of the costs of feed fodder for the farmers. And that's why we were forced to do it. And most dairy cooperative brands and dairy milk brands across the country have also been done that. But at the moment, now there is no such requirement, and we're not looking at any further price increase.
Despite coming in for consumers, no price hikes, at least in the near future. But Mr. Mehta, help us understand how much have input costs risen by over the last 6 to 8 odd months?
There are two major things. Farmers depend on green fodder and dry fodder for feeding the cows, and of course water. And the early summer puts pressure on in agriculture inputs and commodities like this. But on the whole, the feed prices are now practically under control, and we are hoping that in the coming season, we'll have enough and more availability of all the raw materials, and that should help us take care of the coming months.
So availability of feedstock is not a problem, but let's also talk about Amul's latest and very promising offering, which is Amul Protein range. How has the acceptance been of this protein range products, both in the India as well as US markets, Mr. Mehta, especially because it's a low-cost offering, but yet a healthy offering by Amul?
We've launched a range of high-protein products, starting with high-protein lassi, high-protein buttermilk, and then going into high-protein shakes, whey-protein concentrates, high-protein dahi, high-protein paneer, high-protein yogurt. And we created in a portfolio of high-protein range, basically, so that we are able to meet the nutritional goal of the country, that is 1 gram of protein per kg of body weight. And since we have abundant availability of the core resource, which is whey, I mean, you get whey when you produce cheese or paneer out of milk. And since we are the largest manufacturer of both these items, we have a lot of whey. And that whey we have converted into these high protein, high quality products. And because we have our own source of whey and we don't need to import as many other players would need to do, our prices are very competitive. And that's how we want high protein, good quality, value for money products available for our country, so that we are able to overcome the nutritional deficiency in protein that we have as a nation, and offer protein in a very tasty and a convenient way with every meal part during the day. And that's how we've been getting a very good response. We are expanding the portfolio to add more protein products in the category, and also see that people get indulgence like high protein ice cream kulfi, which we are going to launch very soon. All this will help us in growing the market and also making people aware of the requirement of protein, which is a very, very vital ingredient. And the good part is milk itself is a superfood, and every component of milk has huge value, right from ghee and butter, which is the fat component, protein, and then the other parts, which are the lactose and the vitamins, the minerals, and so on, which make milk a very complete food.
Good to hear that the acceptance of high protein products has been very strong. But Mr. Mehta, I believe availability is a bit of a problem. In fact, I was going through the availability of protein range products on quick commerce platforms, but I believe only high protein Amul Dahi is available. What are your plans of scaling up supply to general and modern trade platforms, especially quick commerce? Could we see these products coming up on quick commerce platforms as well?
See, we are not selling our most of the protein products which I mentioned through any other channel except our own direct-to-customer channel, which is an Amul Shop app. So obviously, you will not find any of these products except for dahi on the Q-commerce or the e-commerce channels because the two reasons behind it. A, the capacity is being expanded 5 times in the next couple of months, which means we'll see higher availability and visibility of the Amul products. And secondly, we also wanted to understand who the consumers are and directly reach out to them. So today, on our own direct-to-customer channel, we have more than 1 million customers, and now we know who's buying, what they are buying, what frequency they are buying, and easy to communicate about new launches and other things if we are directly connected to them. But as we expand our capacity 5x in the next couple of months, you will see not just uninterrupted and availability on our own channel, but also we will gradually expand to the channels that you just mentioned. But at the moment, the availability is restricted to our own Amul Shop app. And yes, we are aware of the high demand, and that's why we are taking care of increasing the supplies also.
So high protein Amul products will soon be available across other quick commerce platforms as well. But Mr. Mehta, let's also talk about your expansion plans, especially overseas. And after expanding in US a year ago, reports also suggest that you are looking to expand into European region. How have these expansion plans progressed? How has US performed, and what are your plans when it comes to Europe?
We launched milk in US exactly a year back. And today I'm happy to say that Amul milk, which is a 6% fat milk which we consume in India, the Amul Gold milk, is available in more than 35 states across the United States of America. And we are perhaps the only national brand of milk in US, because otherwise they have the store brands or local level brands. But Amul milk is available across the length and breadth of the country, right from California to New York, from Texas to Chicago, and our presence is growing. We have launched fresh curd in the market, buttermilk in the market, and as you mentioned earlier, high protein milk also has been launched in the US market. So we're getting very, very good response. The launch in Europe is also on the cards, and we're almost ready with the launch in a tie-up with the cooperative there. And in the month of June, you will also see Amul Gold milk being launched in Europe.
Mr. Mehta, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on Litre now. But thanks for clarifying that milk prices will not inch higher from the current levels. But shifting focus from milk to coal then, Parthiv Jonsa, lead analyst metals and mining at Anand Rathi Institutional Equities, shares that volume growth in the power sector will be aided by new thermal power plants. Listen in to his rationale.
Even at a base case scenario with this 80 gigawatt, if it comes on time, it translates to close to about 400 million ton of an additional coal requirement. And till the time, I believe most of these plants will be fed in, the coal will be fed in from the indigenous sources, right? More than imported coal. So this basically translates to close to about over 400 million ton, at least only from these upcoming plants. There are other, existing facilities which require. If you see your FY25 data, your non-coking imports have actually gone down. So all these basically will keep your volume momentum going on.
Outlook for India's coal sector continues to remain intact. That's the word coming in. But shifting focus to our next segment, did you know? And the metals inside your iPhone are actually more precious than you actually thought. iPhone contains an estimated 30 chemical elements, including well-known metals like aluminium, copper, lithium, silver, and yes, even gold. There's also an array of obscure metals known as rare earth elements, which are known for their wide-ranging tech and renewable energy applications, which are tucked inside your iPhone. So yes, if you're an iPhone user, you're clutching important pieces of the Earth's crust, which have been dug up from mining around the world. That's all the time we have on this edition of Commodity Central. Don't go anywhere. Newsroom coming up on the other side.